let's move forward and talk about some standard component. Basically in Salesforce we have two type of components. One is standard component and the other one is the force.com component. Now this force.com component can only be used in Salesforce one application, but standard components can be used in your Salesforce one as well as Lightning framework as well. Okay, so one such component is aura iteration. So if you need to iterate over a set of list or array, so you can simply use this component. These are reusable component to make your application development faster. So let's take a real example to understand how does this work. Okay, wrapper comp is here. So what I will do, I will delete everything from here, and again I will use and create an attribute aura attribute. I will name it as, let's say I need to display a list of numbers, so I will name it as number list simply. Okay, and type will be equals to list. Okay, so I have defined an attribute by name number list whose type is a list, which will store a list which will store a couple of numbers. Let me increase the size. Okay, now what I will do, I will create a button here. So on clicking of that button, that list should get displayed, not automatically. And since we need to display a list, we need to add the numbers to the list as well. And for that, we will also be writing a JavaScript function in our controller. So how a button is displayed, UI : button, which you already know. We have done this couple of times now. And let's say we label it as display number list and close this. So now if I save it, unknown error message, and refresh my application, let's see what happens. So we will have that button display, but if we click on it, it is not doing anything because we have not told it to do anything till now. So which we have seen earlier, on press of this button we can call a function. So similarly we will call a function here, and how do we do that? C : let's say we define a function get num list. Okay, so this is the function which will be called on the pressing of this button. So in this function we will do all our list addition of numbers, and using that iteration component we will iterate through that list and display the values one by one. Now where do we write our functions? In our controller. So I will click on controller here. So it will automatically create a JavaScript here, js.js, you can see that, and it will automatically wrap this to my wrapper comp. So here you see wrapper comp was the component, wrapper comp controller.js is the controller. So our function name has to be get num list. We will simply copy and paste this so that we do not make any typing errors. And this function will take only one parameter, that is component. Okay, now what we will do, we will simply define a variable. Let's say we call it list of numbers of type array. Okay, it will be array. So in Apex, arrays and list almost work similarly. Now what we will do, we will create a for loop. We all know how to create a for loop for I equals to 0, I less than equals to 10. Let's say we want to go till 10 only, I plus plus, and one by one we will add these numbers to the list. So in Lightning component we can simply use a function or a method known as push. So push these values to the list or add these values to the list. So it is called as push here. What our variable is, list of numbers. Into this array push the values of I. Colon I. Okay, so here you see we do not need any inverted quotes or anything because it is not Apex, it is JavaScript. So in Apex it will be something like this and this, so which was an expression. here we can simply use it without any inverted quotes or anything. Okay, so what we are doing into this list of numbers, we are iterating through for loop through I from 0 to 10, and we are adding this value to our list of numbers array. Okay, now we need to pass this list to our component, and here the name is number list. We have already seen this in one of the previous video. So how do we do that? We need to assign this to our component number list attribute here, which is of type list. So what we will do, after we push this here, one by one, we will set this list to component dot set v dot, and what we need to set here, list of numbers. And we will end the statement here. So hope I am clear here. What we have done, we have simply created a variable list of numbers of type array. We have added 0 to 10 to this list of numbers, and then this list of numbers need to be passed to our component attribute number list, on which we will iterate and display everything one by one. So iterating through I and adding that to the list we do in our controller. Save it, everything is okay. Now we need to display this list on click of this function. And how do we do that? Now we will use our aura colon iteration component, the standard component which could be used, and var equals to num. So this will be temporary variable. Even in Apex, when you define a page block table, data table, you iterate through the table. So you define temporary variable, and by using dot notation, you access the values from the list. Okay. And what will be the items on which this num will iterate? That would be v dot number list. So we will iterate on this number list, and values in this have already been passed from there, from our controller. Okay. And here to display, how do we do that? Simply num, it will iterate one by one through this number list, num dot value. Save it here. So let's see what's the problem there. Okay, so here is our mistake. This should be a curly brace. Save it. Now everything is fine. Now I will go and refresh my application here. Now if I click on display number list, it will call that function. Okay, some issue with the application. No issues. We will check everything here. Okay, we have missed the exclamation mark here. Control S. Okay. Now if I go ahead and refresh my application and click on display number list, boom, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you want these to be in separate lines, you can simply add a line break here. Save it now. Refresh it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so in this way you can use standard components like aura colon iteration in your Lightning component to speed up the process, and these are reusable components which saves you time, and they are built for you. So always ensure that you use these standard component to increase your efficiency. I hope the program was easy. Simply in our controller we iterated through I for loop, added the I to a variable which we have already defined, passed this variable to our component, and then using iteration component iterated over that list, and one by one by using a dot operator, temporary variable dot value, we have displayed the values on our screen.